I am Jyothi Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in BWork Software Development and System Administration, MES College, Marampally.
Hi all, I'm Jyothi Lakshmi from SDSA department MES Marampally. Let's have a look on client server model. What is client server model? The client server model is the distributed application structure that partitions task or workload between the providers of the resource or service called servers and the server requesters called clients. In the client-server architecture, when the client computer sends a request for a data to the server through the internet, the server accepts the requested process and delivers the data package requested back to the client. And the client do not share any of their resources. And some of the most commonly used client-server models we can say like that are our mail and also our website we are using www. Right, that is a very common and relevant example for client server model. And how the client server model works. The client, the when we talk the word client, it means to talk a person or an organization using a particular service. Similarly, in digital world, a client is a computer, is called as a host, that is capable of receiving information or using a particular service from the server provider service. And servers, similarly, when we talk about the word servers, it means a person or medium that serves something. Similarly, in this digital world, server is a remote computer which provide information or access to the particular service. Here is a pictorial representation of the client server model. You can see like the below picture, there is a browser. A man is trying to browse some data using the browser, and we can say like that is called the client side. And the client send a request to the server. That is why it's represented as the client request. And the requested is get into the web server. There all the process is done, and it will respond back. And it is noted here as server response, and it will send back to the client, right? And the above picture also may representing the same thing, that we can use the client like a phone or laptop. First of all, the request is come from the client is through the network. It will send to the server, corresponding server will response back, and it also send back through the same network, and it will finally reach back to the client. And how a browser interact with the server. There are few steps to follow to interact with the server a client. User enter the URL, that is called as the Uniform Resource Locator of the website or file. The browser then requests the DNS, that means the domain name system of the server. The DNS server look up the address of the web server. The DNS server respond to with the IP address of the web server. The browser sends over the HTTP or HTTPS request to the web server's IP. The server sends over the necessary files of the website. The browser then renders the files and the website is displayed. This rendering is done with the help of DOM, that means Document Object Model Interpreter. The CSS interpreter and JS engine, collectively known as the JIT or just-in-time compilers. Here we just mentioned about the DNS. Let's have a look on what is DNS, domain name system. When we are using to send a taking a data through the browser, we want to give the address in the URL, right? Here we is giving the example. Here we are showing it's as example.com. Actually, it is the address and its really meaning in this the IP address, that is 198.51.100.0, right? It's IP address. It was searching this addressing naming where is the website like that. For that, it will send through the network, and first it reaches to the DNS resolver, DNS recursive resolver. It will search there. If the data is there, if it is not there, it will redirect to the DNS root name server. And if the data is also not present in the DNS root name server, it will redirect it to the DNS TLD name server. There, if it cannot able to find out the data what it is request, it will finally go to the authoritative name server. Here, I am sure that everything is included in here, and we can able to find out from the authoritative name server. After finding the data, its corresponding data, it will respond back to the requested side, and that we get the data in the get the data back to the client. Actually, this was the working of the DNS. DNS is searching one to another, and we get the final result. Okay, then let's have some thing about the advantages of the client server model. The centralized system with all data in a single place, and the cost effective require less maintained cost, and data recovery is possible. The capacity of the client and server can be changed separately. And there is also a disadvantage of the client server model. That is, the client are the prone to the virus, trojans, worms if present in the server or uploaded into the server. Server are prone to denial of service, that of attacks, and data packages may be spoofed or modified during the transmission. Phishing or capturing login credentials or other useful information of the user are common in man-in-middle attack are very common. All these types of attacks are may be faced by the client server model. But anyway, it's very helpful to access a data from the server. And that's all about the client server. Thank you.